States with the lowest sales tax per capita. And that's what we're going to talk about here today. And we're going to talk about highest too. Tax Foundation has a new graph that they just came out with. I want to share with you about sales tax. Remember, oh, by the way, my shirt is Bison Armory out of Washington State. Good guys up there. I forgot the guy's name off the top of my head. I'll interview him one of these days. But here's the back. I don't know if y'all can see that, or if you just see my big fat hiney, but hopefully you saw the back of the shirt. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Bison Armory out of Washington State. Give them a look over for your uppers and your lowers and any other thing firearm related. Firearms, they're evil, evil. All right, so anyway, the big three that you got to, hey, handsome. All right, income tax, obviously. A lot of people get caught in that. They're like, income tax, I got to flee Maryland because the income tax are too high. And then if you look at it, like, it's just not that big of a deal. Property tax and sales tax. All right, so the big three, income, property, and sales. Property tax is always the biggest one you got to concern yourself with. Now, I know some jurisdictions, once you hit 65, they give you a discount. It might reduce, I don't know. But we got a homestead exemption here in Georgia, in Fulton County, which is good. I mean, stupid not to take advantage of it. When we lived in Kendall County, we had a homestead exemption. I think it was just like the first $10,000 was exempted. It's the first $10,000 of assessed value as opposed to fair market value. So that was I don't want to say significant. That was a help. It wasn't huge. And again, Texas, the taxes are quite high across the state because there's no income tax. No, hold on a second. We're going to have a dog that's barking. Anyway, so sales tax is interesting because while it's a regressive tax, i.e. everyone pays the same rate regardless of income. That just because it's regressive doesn't mean it's bad, or progressive certainly doesn't mean it's good. But what a sales tax is very fair. You don't want to pay the tax, don't buy the product. It's that simple. In a lot of states, they don't tax food. A lot of them don't even tax clothes. Now they tax big ticket items. That's once in you buy a fridge once every 10 to 15 years or so. So I like sales tax, but it is one of those ones that you don't really notice that much because everything you buy, I think here in Fulton County is 5.5% sales tax. So it's $3 here, $1 there, and it just adds up. But it's not anywhere near property tax. So anyway, let's dive into this. I love these graphs. I love maps. Always have. And another thing is, how much does your state collect in sales tax per capita? State and local general sales tax collections per capita fiscal year 2018. Now, the interesting thing is, remember, per capita is per head, all right? On top of that is also based on income, because the more income you have, the more product you're going to buy, the more sales tax you pay, if that makes sense. So the states with a lower income, even if they have a higher sales tax, they're going to pay lower per capita sales tax. So it could be somewhat misleading because let's just use you for an example. Say you move to Tennessee, all right? In Tennessee, the sales tax is high, all right? Well, if you don't make that much money, as we'll see here in just a second, there isn't that much sales tax because you're not paying that much in sales tax because you don't have that much money in which to spend to pay sales tax. On the other hand, some states have a lower sales tax, and you might make a lot of money, so you're spending a lot of money, and thus you're paying a higher tax. I hope that makes sense. Spin again. Stop. One second. All right, good boys. All right, so let's check this out. So the highest in sales tax per capita is the state of Washington, which shouldn't surprise anybody because it has no income tax, and it's a fairly affluent state by and large. So that's the second highest. The highest is Hawaii. Okay, so we're going to look at the lower 48 for just a second. So the average person, that's per capita, per head, pays $2,100 in sales tax in Washington. Now we go to Hawaii, you pay $26.94. All right. So while Alaska does not have a state level sales tax, it allows taxes at the local level. So in Alaska is only $335. DC rank does not affect states ranks, but the figure is in parentheses indicates where this would rank if it was ranked. I imagine DC's got to be through the roof yet. Number 2. All right, so anyway, so here's Washington State, number 2. Here's Hawaii, number 1. Let's see where we got here. I think Tennessee's number 17. Even though it has the highest state tax percentage, it's the 17th highest in terms of per capita. That's what makes Tennessee such freaking awesomeness. Now here's Georgia, number 38. it's still a pretty high sales tax, man. At least in Fulton County. And on top of that, we have an income tax. And in Fulton County, we have pretty high property tax. So it's a trifecta versus me, the unholy trinity. That's for doggone sure. You see, New Hampshire, no state sales tax. Montana and Oregon. All right, so Idaho, you pay $1,000 per head. And again, it's really, this is somewhat misleading because it depends on your income. But if you're not living off a lot of income, i.e., you don't spend a lot of money, even if you're living in a place like Tennessee with a high sales tax, you can avoid that because you don't spend that much. I hope that makes sense. Or you grow your own food. I guess food's probably exempt, but still, if you're not, this is one of the things I think with retirees. I probably undervalue this myself. You guys are so doggone cute. As you age and you don't spend as much, inherently you have less sales tax, man. You're not going to buy a new car. You're not going to buy a new fridge. You're not going to buy new clothes. You're not going to buy this. You're not going to buy that. So your number of your sales tax is going to go down as well. How does that calculate these retirement projections? You need 80% of your income, do you? All right, so let's take a look here. We got Tennessee. Look at that. Number 17, even though it's the highest sales tax in all the land. But in terms of the average, again, average per capita is low. Louisiana, $1,800. Wow. Arkansas, $1,500. Wow. 7 and 4. They have a high sales tax rate, but low actual sales tax per capita. I hope that makes sense. Florida, $1,500, man. It's affordable. South Dakota, no state income tax with a pretty high property tax. The sales tax is number 5. So Wyoming, number 15, $1,300. I mean, so look at this. And in Georgia, or South Carolina, $783 is the average that you pay in sales tax. Maine, $1,100. Vermont's, well, they get you every other way, but still $660. It's crazy, man. New Jersey's got to be way up there. Oh, $1,100. West Virginia, I'm telling you, man. Look at West Virginia. Anyways, that's pretty interesting. Minnesota, Nevada, number 3, because there's no state income tax. Property taxes in Nevada are rather low too. California, $1,300 per capita. So Alaska and Hawaii, Hawaii is the highest, but that doesn't shock me. But even that, $2,600, that's a hell of a lot lower than you're paying in property tax in many of these states, if that makes sense. This property tax is big. I'm just telling you right now. So you got to look into, do the research on where the exemptions are, homestead exemptions, if there's 65-year-old exemptions, something like that. That's what you got to do your research on. All right, love to hear your thoughts on that. We'll see you.